When we think about and try to measure health in the context of pregnancy and childbirth, one of the phrases you'll hear a lot is the maternal mortality rate. It's a very clinical, impersonal measurement for a very personal tragedy that affects far too many women and their families. Just last year, Tori Bowie, an American sprinter and Olympic gold medalist, died of complications during childbirth at age 32. Her death was a shock to those in the sport of track and field, but it was also part of a distressing trend in the United States. Health is Wealth is presented by Meridian Health Services, with support from LifeStream Services. A report by the World Health Organization found that from 2000 to 2017, the United States was one of only 2 countries whose maternal mortality rate went up. And the trend did not stop there. From 2019 to 2021, the number of women dying from maternal causes went from 754 to 861 to over 1,200. The danger of maternal mortality is highest for Black women in the United States, who are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. This racial disparity is a result of multiple factors, including underlying chronic conditions, lack of access to quality health care, structural racism, and implicit bias within healthcare settings. Erin Tingler, a women's health nurse practitioner at Open Door Health Services, told me Indiana ranks among the worst states for maternal mortality rate. But the good news is 80% of pregnancy-related deaths in the U.S. are preventable.
When we think about what can cause a maternal death in pregnancy, postpartum, we think about things like preeclampsia and eclampsia and substance abuse and postpartum hemorrhage. Obesity contributes to that. Smoking during pregnancy contributes to that. Obviously, substance use, lack of physical activity, all of those things contribute to those conditions. And so we know if we can help with those conditions, it can make the outcomes, it can hopefully change the outcomes for these mothers.
Erin says healthy habits are important before and after the baby is born, and also just as important before the baby is even conceived.
So preconception, I would say trying to become as healthy as you can possibly be. Don't expect somebody to go out and lose 100 pounds, but start with little steps, baby steps, like trying to lose a little bit of weight, trying to become more active, even if it's just walking around the neighborhood or starting small and working your way up. Don't have to be huge lifestyle changes, but just small lifestyle changes that really add up.
So then during pregnancy, is it basically the same kinds of things, but maybe just more urgently?
Yeah. And again, I focus with my patients on baby steps. Making these huge goals are not attainable. So if somebody comes into pregnancy and they smoke, they're a cigarette smoker, I say decrease the number of cigarettes you smoke a day. Work towards quitting. But don't feel like it's an all or nothing thing, that you either have to stop smoking now or it's all lost. Make those small steps.
Mom's health doesn't become less important after the baby is born. In fact, a CDC study found that over half of pregnancy-related deaths occurred between 7 days to 1 year after birth. And mental health conditions are the leading underlying cause of pregnancy-related death.
There's so many hormonal changes that are going on in a woman's body postpartum. And I think sometimes women are made to think that what they're going through doesn't matter as much because now they have baby and we're focused, people focus on baby. But it's so important for women to seek help right away if they're struggling. As a society, I think we're doing better about speaking out about mental health, but there is always still that hesitancy to say, I need help or I need this. And we really try to make it welcoming so they feel like that's okay to ask for help. It's okay.
When we think about making big habit changes, we want to start with something to build on, a keystone habit that can bring small wins to build bigger and bigger change. Erin recommends her patients start with their diet. And her acronym, it is a memorable one.
So I like the acronym CRAP. Stop eating crap. And I know that sounds really crass, but it's an acronym that stands for carbonated beverages. So just trying to reduce or cut out some of the carbonated beverages in their diet, replacing it with water. R is refined sugars. So just trying to do away with the sugary desserts, that kind of thing. A is for artificial foods. So try to not do the prepackaged box meals that have a ton of preservatives, but try to go for the whole foods. And P is processed foods. So exactly the same thing, like those box meals, fast food, things like that, trying to make those changes. And again, I'm not talking about changing the diet, altogether, but make changes. Like, can you substitute, 2 meals a week at home versus eating out?
Again, the important thing is starting with a small win and building from there. Call it a keystone habit, or, since we're talking about pregnancy, let's use Erin's perfect phrase, baby steps. If you're a mom taking baby steps toward healthy habits, leave a comment and let us know about it. And as always, like this video and subscribe to get more great stuff from Ball State PBS. In the next episode of Health is Wealth, I explore the link between social media use and depression for teenagers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.